but also that work allows you to do the work you do now, which is this manhunt, if you call it that, which is, you spent the last few years of your life looking for this particular gentleman. Maybe you can tell us, why has this become such a priority, obsession of yours? And why did those many years undercover, how did that really arm you with all this knowledge to do the detective work?
Let me please correct you on one thing. From what I've heard and what I've been told about Kevin Parle, he is not a gentleman. I have interviewed former girlfriends of his, and he had a very controlling, violent, coercive way towards them. On one hand, in company in a restaurant, he would be charm personified. And I've been told that his ability to chat up women was absolutely legendary. But some incredibly courageous women have come forward and spoken to me and given me their testimonies. And they say that in the sanctity of a space where it was just him and her, he was revolting. So anyway, I got medically retired from the cops after 21 years. I didn't do my full 30 because I had to live in witness protection program. I had a full, catastrophic mental health breakdown. And I think it's fair to say that I'm probably still a frustrated public servant. I've been out the cops for 20 years, but I've worked in the private sector and of course the public sector. And I think part of me is still a frustrated detective who wants to do his bit for society, because I think I might have sort of been shortchanged by not doing the last 9 years, and I might have shortchanged the public by not giving them those 9 years of my life. So that is why I decided last year, after I left a TV show, a successful TV show on Channel 4 in the UK called Hunted. I'd been the chief for 6 series, as you said. When I left that show, I was thinking, what's my next major project going to be? And my publisher had said I could do another book if I got the right subject material. So I thought, okay, much as I've written plays for Radio 4, drama plays for Radio 4, been a veteran of thousands of broadcasts about crime and policing and all of that, and written books, of course, what I am best known for is hunting pretend fugitives on a television entertainment show, right? Well, get over it, Bleksley, and just accept that and use it to your own advantage. So I thought, right, I'll combine what I'm best known for, my skills, my experience, the network of people that I've got, roll it all into one, and instead of writing books on unsolved murders like my previous two were, and instead of hunting pretend fugitives on a TV show, I'll go for a real one. And they do not come any more wanted than Kevin Parle. He's wanted for 2 separate murders. Now, he's not convicted, so I need to make that clear, but he is very much wanted, and he's on the National Crime Agency's most wanted list. And if you'll excuse me, I'll show you a picture of him, right? So 18 months ago, my publisher said, yeah, you can write a book on hunting Kevin Parle. And it had the working title of I'm Coming For You. It is, of course, now called Manhunt. So 29th of April, 2019, I held a press conference in central London, building on my Z-list very minor celebrity status. Fortunately, some big hitters turned up. Danny Shaw, Home Affairs correspondent from the BBC, was there. The Press Association were there. A daily newspaper was there, and others. It was quite a good turnout. And I told everybody, I announced that I'm going to go and look for Kevin Parle. Had these printed up, hundreds of them, right? And on the back are the pictures of the 2 victims. Liam Kelly, 16 years old, right, shot dead in 2004. 16 years old, a boy, a kid. Now, of course, I've been researching these crimes and hunting Kevin Parle for 18 months. So I've spoken to a vast array of people. And it's fair to say, nobody has described Liam to me as being a model student. Let me put it that way. But you know what? When I was 16, I was a blooming nuisance and irritated a lot of people. Liam was denied the opportunity to grow, to mature, to enter manhood, to meet a partner, to have a family to provide for. All denied him because he was lured to a straightener in the early hours of the morning and shot dead. And a court has been told, because 3 people have been convicted of offences in connection with Liam's murder, the court was told, albeit, let me just remind everybody, he is currently unconvicted, court was told Kevin Parle pulled the trigger. That's why he's wanted for Liam's murder.
What's a straightener?
It's a term used in criminal circles when perhaps you and I have had a bit of a disagreement and we might get things straight.
Okay.
Or alternatively, it's a situation whereby we're going to get things straight, but it ain't going to end well, if you know what I mean.
Got it.
The second victim, fast forward to August 2005, Lucy Hargreaves, a 22-year-old mother of 3 young children, shot dead on her sofa in her own home in a bungled, amateurish, pathetic attack upon her home. It's a very well-known theory that the intended victim was Lucy's partner. Lucy's partner, Gary Campbell, had been the passenger in a stolen car 12 years earlier that had been involved in an accident and killed a 4-year-old boy. Either way, Lucy, described to me, as I say, as beautiful on the inside as she was on the outside. An entirely innocent, unconnected, wonderful young woman. Shot dead, and then her body and our home was set on fire by a bunch, I better just temper my language. I'll let people make their own decisions on that. Nobody has been convicted in relation to Lucy's crime. 2 men stood trial. The case was halted by the judge at halfway through because he said the prosecution case wasn't strong enough. So the jury were directed to return not guilty verdicts. Kevin Parle very much wanted for that crime as well. So, yeah, had all these printed up. I've handed out literally hundreds of them. In Liverpool, that I've been to many, many times in the last 18 months. Yeah, he's from Liverpool. Both these crimes were committed in Liverpool. Kevin Parle does not come from the tough side of the street. He came from the south side of the city, privately educated. And I'm told when he started to move in criminal circles, because he's 6'6" and he's big and he's broad and all of that, that wasn't enough. He felt he had to prove himself. And to start with, the seniors in the criminal world would only let him handle a bunch of kids and run a bunch of kids because they didn't really trust him. Variously described to me as a clown by somebody who knew him in his younger years. Described to me as the designated driver for a bunch of football hooligans. And I'm told one story when Liverpool Football Club hooligans, who were called the Urchins, were going to a game away to Leicester City. They stopped at a motorway service station. Parle decided to impress all these youngsters by stealing a pizza, crime of the century, which he took outside of the motor services, and then he got stopped by security and was humiliated because he had to pay for it.